Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about morality and the offender. So the thinking process of an offender occurs continuously, and it is rapid and it is intense. An offender is constantly searching for excitement and making plans to achieve gratification. We had talked about the problem of immediate gratification. The offender may appear or report feeling tired or fatigued when he is really just bored. This occurs when he is asked to do something that he doesn't want to do. Offenders usually have a number of fears that at times are overwhelming. This may include a fear of death, illness, pain, disability, fear of the dark, and fear of being put down. Because they are unable to tolerate these fears, he eliminates them. An offender's greatest fear is that of feeling nothing, that zero state that we've spoken about before. Also, anger is a common response to fear. The offender typically has an extremely high and an inflexible evaluation of himself. This is called criminal pride, and it has nothing to do with the kind of pride someone feels for doing something worthwhile. The offender believes he is a good person, even when planning and carrying out crimes. If he saw himself as evil, he wouldn't be able to do the things he does. So his belief that he is a good person kind of gives him license to continue criminal behavior. When an offender is arrested, he often admits that he broke the law, but he doesn't view himself as a criminal. And I will tell you that in working with offenders in prison, when any of our lesson plans referred to them as criminals, many of them became very offended. Just saying. They believe that they are good and decent people, many of them, and they don't believe that they deserve to be punished. They know the difference between right and wrong, but they don't necessarily feel that it always applies to them. I know. So, way back in an earlier module, we talked about thinking errors. And I'm going to review some of those today because they definitely apply again with morality. I'm going to give you some examples of criminal thinking errors. First of all, there is sentimentality. And this is somebody who professes a great love and affection for others, but their sentiments they're not backed up by moral behavior. They often hurt the ones who they claim to love the most. Many of us, I understand, do that. Sex offenders often profess their love for their victims, their close relationships with their victims, being a good friend, a good father, a good uncle, whatever it is. But they only have a superficial understanding of the responsibility related to that concept of love. Religion. Oftentimes religion is used to support the belief in themselves or the belief that they are a good person. Statements such as, I have always gone to church. I read the Bible every day. I believe in God. God has forgiven me. God will keep me from reoffending. Those kinds of things. Being in a church does not make you a good person. If you stand in a garage, you're not a car. All right? Concrete thinking is another thinking error. This is somebody who does not understand or want to understand abstract principles and cannot see the big picture. It must be wrong because I'm in prison. My victim is all right because he or she is getting counseling. Okay, that kind of thing doesn't work. Perfectionism. This is not somebody who wants to do everything perfectly. That is a perfectionist. Perfectionism is different. He has extremely high standards for other people about the way they should be, but he doesn't apply them to himself. They think that For instance, I must make a lot of money, but they're not willing to do the effort to make that money. I must care for my family, but they don't make the effort to actually care for their family. And they may expect perfectionism from others, that they must do things well for them, but they themselves don't have to do anything well. All right, lying. Lying helps an offender maintain control. It might be an outright lie. It could be a lie by omission. It could be a lie by denial. Saying things like, I don't remember. Those are lies. Victim stance. This is a common thinking error. When you are held accountable for your actions, but you see yourself as the injured party, then that is taking a victim stance. Failure to put oneself in another's position. When you don't recognize how many people are affected by your offense or how they were affected, even if you begin to realize the effects on the victim, this person would not think about the victim's family or the victim's friends or anything else. They really do, they are not able to have empathy and put themselves in someone else's position. Failure to consider injury to others. This is someone who has no regard for the rights of others, but they expect total respect from everyone else. I know, bananas. They have no concept of how they hurt other people emotionally, and they might even minimize someone's physical injuries. Okay, so next is failure to assume obligations. Obligations interfere with what they want to do. I don't want to work 8 to 5, you know? I don't want to settle in one place. I don't want anybody telling me what to do. That kind of attitude. Failure to assume responsible initiatives. He expects other people to figure things out for him, tell him how to do it. He shouldn't have to figure out this stuff for himself. You know, saying something like, well, you know, I didn't go to a counselor because my parole officer didn't help me with that, or didn't give me names of people, or I didn't sign up for those classes because nobody told me what classes I was supposed to take. You have to have some initiative. All right, the next one is ownership. This is someone who looks, if they look at something, it's theirs, and that includes people. They see objects as theirs for the taking. The next one is lack of interest in responsible performance. Responsible performance looks dull and boring to this person because it doesn't guarantee immediate gratification or immediate excitement. Something like a job is not worth the hassle to them because they might not get immediate praise, they might not get immediate pay, they might not get an immediate promotion. Not worth it. All right, building up oneself as a good person. This is someone who views the fact that they have done some good things as canceling out the bad things they have done. Saying, I've never been in trouble before. Or I'm not like these other people, these other offenders. That's just not the case. Even if you've done something bad once, you're judged by that too. You can't say, I did this one good deed, I gave to charity, therefore it's okay that I shoplift. Or I volunteer with a charitable organization, so it's okay that I only touched him once. I'm really a good person. Okay, that just doesn't work. That is such flawed logic. One thing doesn't outweigh the other thing. When you've hurt someone, you've hurt someone. And it's not canceled out by a good deed that you've done. Okay, so next time we're going to talk about the correctives for these thinking errors. And they are very important to consider these thinking errors in talking about morality. And moral responsibility. So I want you to think about the thinking errors that I just mentioned and think about how and when you have used these thinking errors, okay? Until next time, please subscribe to this channel. Please feel free to connect with me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, or through this channel. And please share these videos with someone who you think they can help. And until next time, be well.